Brand new season for Finance Friday for this guy. First Ontario's Senior Manager of Business Services, Colin Cyr, joins us. Your colleague Mark Perkins was here a couple of weeks ago, but it's like September for you.
We're back at it. Excited to be here, Annette. Thanks for having me.
Okay, and we're going to get right into it with a viewer question. Thanks to viewer Julie from Woodstock, who asked, what advice do you have, Colin, for anyone who may be interested in starting their own small business? What would be some suggested steps to get them started in the process? How much of this initial startup journey does the bank or credit union assist with? And is there something the business needs to have done before getting assistance from the financial institution? Wow, Julie, it's like you're an expert in the field there.
Who would have thought? Some great questions from our viewers out there, Annette. It is a great question, Julie. And, you know, starting a business can be one of the most exciting ventures that you ever embark on. But it can also be very overwhelming, especially in those initial days where you're looking at the big picture more so than the small little steps you want to take. And so we want to talk a little bit about some of the things businesses can do to set themselves up for success, whether it's the planning, understanding the financing pieces, or, you know, to Julie's question, finding the right banking credit union partners to work with over the long run.
What's the first step? Because say you've got a great idea, or maybe you've got a great product or a great service, but you're not so great with like the financial end of things. How do you make that important first step to make sure that you got a good foundation?
Yeah, so you want to try to create some clarity off the get-go. Taking that idea to life, you want to try to do that on paper first, and this starts with a business plan, right? So your business plan should be out there asking questions like, who's my target customer and what makes my product or service unique? What are my goals in those initial days and down the road as well? From the financial standpoint, the business plan is going to ask, you know, what money do I think is going to be coming in and what money is going out? That's going to be a communication tool for investors and lenders, showing you've done your homework and you know what's going to happen here in the first year or so. But importantly, it's your roadmap. You wouldn't embark on a really long journey like starting a business or going on a road trip if you didn't have a roadmap. And so it should be that foundational piece that you have set up off the get-go.
And does it have to be like a fancy professional page, or would somebody from a bank or a credit union, like what key things are you looking for?
Yeah, we want to see some sort of sense of the financial piece is really important. So from a cost standpoint,
how much money do you have now?
Exactly.
Maybe, right?
Yeah. So what money are you putting in? And we'll talk a bit about the funding process, but costs associated that are going to be going out the door. And so costs may vary depending on your industry, but there's some common costs like physical location. You know, what's the cost of rent or insurance or your license, or if you're moving into a new location that you're renting, you have to renovate it, leasehold improvement costs, filling it out with inventory. What are the costs associated with that, or buying the machinery, or even just working capital, the cash that you're going to need to put out to make those payments to payroll and vendors when you don't have the revenue coming in. So we find that businesses can often underestimate the costs associated at startup, and that's where that business plan is going to help you try to get a better sense of dialing in early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And is it at that point too, like if you're big enough already to have maybe one employee or another employee, you got to think about like, how do you pay them? Mm-hmm. What's all kinds of things like that.
Yeah, so when we talk about funding the business off the get-go, or where you're going to get the money to do anything, there's really three important ways that you can look to fund your business. One is self-funding it. So on some level, you're going to have your own savings. You're going to have to, you know, maybe borrow some money personally to put in the business.
Maybe you've been working at something already.
That's right. That's right. Or you're taking some personal equity out, you know, potentially of a property to help finance your business. But you have to have some skin in the game. There's equity input as well, where somebody might give you some capital in order to take a bit of an ownership share in the business. But then there's the financing piece, and this is where you can fund your business through things like financing through credit, which you'll repay over time. And this is where the banks or credit unions can really come in and support on the financing piece. To fund your business, that is. Okay,
it's a good first start then.
Mm-hmm, of course.
All right, thanks very much. So if you, like Julie, have a financial question or topic that you would like covered, email your questions to financefriday@firstontario.com. And if your question or topic is covered on air, you'll get a gift card from First Ontario.